and welcome to Getting To Know ACS with Tracy
and Jasmine. So
today, Jasmine, our special guest is Connie Medrano, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Our Relocation, Readiness, and INR program manager.
Correct.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Connie, do you want to just start off and kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Relo?
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited to talk about the Relocation Readiness Program and everything that it has to offer. I am the Relocation Readiness Program Manager here at Fort Bliss. A couple of things about the program is we assist military families, retirees, DoD civilians with their PCS concerns and assist them throughout the whole process.
Awesome.
Very nice.
So one of the things that I wanted to focus on, because we have talked about, the lending closet before. I think that's one of the big sellers with Relo is the lending closet.
Yes.
Go ahead.
That is one of our most popular programs is the lending closet.
And so with the lending closet, that's pots, pans.
So essentially what happens is when a family PCSs, their household goods get picked up, right? But ideally, most of the time they are still living in their housing.
Right.
So essentially they could be without furniture for a couple of days, weeks. So a soldier could come into our program with a copy of their orders, either bringing them to Fort Bliss or taking them out to Fort Bliss, and we lend them the necessities. We have pots and pans, tables, chairs, sleeping mats, anything to kind of get them by for the next couple of days. What we don't want them to do is spend money on something that they already have. Exactly. It's just stuck on storage or it's somewhere in between their transportation. So it's really a great program. And that one is utilized, which is a good thing on a daily basis.
Okay. So that's good. So we have the lending closet, and then you all also do the packets, the welcome packets for people coming to Fort Bliss, as well as, you do lending closets, like say, for instance, I know I'm going to Fort Lewis or something like that. Will you do a welcome packet for that as well?
Yes. So we have the welcome packets. It is a pretty thick packet with anything that a family might need that's new to Fort Bliss. And what's really neat too, it's not just information about the installation, but about the area too. Oh, okay. So we have El Paso information, Las Cruces maps, things to do around the area. Anyone that is new to Fort Bliss could come to our office and we would be more than happy to sit with them and show them all of the information that's in the welcome packet.
Oh, okay, cool. So another thing I think is really awesome about the relocation program is the Hearts Apart. So can you tell us a little bit about what the Hearts Apart program is and how that works?
So another program is the Hearts Apart, like you mentioned. This program is ideal for spouses that are living geographically away from their service member due to mission requirements. It could be because they are stationed overseas on an unaccompanied tour, or they are away at training for long periods of time. Any spouse could participate in this program. It's designed more as another form of communication, another form to make a community within the spouses, not entirely just unit specific, but installation wide.
Okay. So what are some of the things that the Hearts Apart program, what are some of the things that you guys do as part of that program?
So they could request to be part of our private Facebook page. Okay. We also have monthly emails in regards to communication, what is going on around the area. We also do events. For example, we will be having our first face-to-face event of 2022 on March 15th.
Okay.
Starting at 9 o'clock from 9 to 10:30 at ACS.
Okay. And what's that event? What are you guys going to be doing at that?
We are going to be doing a getting to know you type of event.
Oh, okay.
Having the spouses that have been part of the program because of COVID, we haven't been able to get everyone together. So this is going to be a very good opportunity for those that are new to the program or those that want to learn more about the Heart Support program. They're welcome to go and to register, and then we'll be able to give them the information that they need, give them the point of contact, and hopefully start building that relationships that some spouses might be looking for.
Right. Because I know like a lot of times on Facebook, you'll see on some of the pages like, hey, I'm new to the area, or I'm looking for friends, or, my spouse is getting ready to be deployed to Korea. Anybody else's spouse going to Korea, trying to connect with them. So you all will do that instead of it being on a social media platform, but being in person. Actually
giving them that opportunity to connect and actually talk to someone face to face.
Right.
It's very laid back. It's nothing that it's constantly having to participate in, but just in the times that someone does want to meet some more friends or start building their support system, it's a great platform for that, to slowly get into that rhythm and slowly getting used to what it might look like for the rest of the time that the spouse is deployed or stationed somewhere else.
Right.
So when this program operates without the COVID, right? So is it like a monthly thing? How frequent are the meetups?
Ideally, we would like to do it monthly.
Okay.
But because we know of attendance wise, if some people have kids, they're not able to participate. This first event is really going to set the standard on how the team, on how the group wants it to go. Okay. If they want to do a monthly event, but they also have our point of contact. So if they just want to be low key and just have the communication, absolutely. However, we could assist them in getting to the resources that they might need or questions, concerns they might have. That's definitely the main goal of the Hearts Apart, is to keep that communication.
Right.
So when something happens and the spouse doesn't know who to call, or if this is an issue, or how could we help, they have someone within ACS that could assist them directly.
Right.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's a good opportunity too, because you're networking with other spouses who are in the same situation as you. Absolutely. Because it's one thing for me to, know a spouse that maybe their soldier is still here and they may not be going through the same issues that I would be going through with my soldier being gone. So it's kind of like they have that commonality. It's like, okay, so we can bond that way because we have that in common.
Right. Absolutely. And also, someone that's out of the unit, not necessarily just in the unit. Some spouses feel a little bit more comfortable outside. Right. And it expands their support system. It expands the friends that they could start building, the relationships, the resources. So it's just a great opportunity. Like I said, it could be low key or they could be participating. Right. It's entirely up to the individual.
Okay. Nice. And so again, since this is going to be your first event so that's almost been 2 years since that you've had something face to face. So with that being said, moving forward, what kind of activities do you see in the future?
Outings out in the city, getting to know the installation too. There's so many places, maybe even the library. Right. Taking a field trip to the library, taking a field trip to USO, outside, especially now that the weather will be a little bit better. There's a lot of great hiking areas around Fort Bliss.
Can we volunteer?
She loves to hike, so that would be awesome.
That would be great. And we're not trying to design this to be in-house all the time.
Yeah.
We really want to collaborate with other agencies and resources throughout the community.
Right.
For spouses could get out there and feel a little bit more safer to explore their new community.
Right. And I think that's a great opportunity too, like you said, to explore outside of Post, to kind of get to know El Paso, because there are a lot of opportunities, or a lot of things to do in El Paso, but you have to be willing to, come outside the gates and do it.
Yes.
And I think this program gives them the opportunity to still have that security that I'm with other people and I'm not exploring by myself.
Right.
So it's, then if they, on their own, because they can create their own little network within that.
Absolutely.
And then have their own little network of people that, hey, let's all get together and go do what
Absolutely.
ever Hearts Apart had showed us.
Especially those roads, right? Like looking at I-10 and you're just like, I'm not going on the spaghetti bowl.
Yes, exactly. That traffic is horrible.
And it could be extremely overwhelming if, for example, it's a new spouse to the military.
Yes.
And their service member is deployed for the first time.
Yeah.
And El Paso is a pretty big city, and Fort Bliss is a pretty big installation. You could kind of get lost and not know exactly how to navigate it, or have the energy or the motivation to do it on your own.
Right.
So within Hearts Apart, that individual at least knows the other spouses are military.
Right.
And their sponsor is deployed or living somewhere else. So they have two things in common already.
Exactly.
That they could build upon and hopefully create that support system that may need, or that friendship.
Exactly.
As a military spouse, you make your family within.
You do, wherever you're at, it's like they become your family because you're not close to your family. So it is a great support system. So what are some of the qualifications to be in Hearts Apart? Because can somebody say, for instance, my soldier is going to be in the field for 2 weeks. Now, does that person qualify to be in Hearts Apart?
No.
Okay.
The service member needs to be away for training for more than 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, that's just the requirements.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So for instance, if they go to NTC, which is a long training exercise, if they go to that, then they could actually join the Hearts Apart during that time. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know in the past you guys have done, outings like movie night and bowling and that type of thing. So
yep. That's exactly what we're hoping to do. Now with the restrictions of COVID being less, I guess, strict.
Yeah.
We have more opportunity to brainstorm.
Right.
But we're really hoping to create activities that the members would appreciate.
Yeah.
Right.
Because what we might think is a good activity, they might not think so.
Right.
You might get people that are like, I am not going to be out in the heat hiking. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
And be able to offer different types of activity to meet all the needs of the participants.
And so they're going to be given the opportunity to give input as to what they would like to do.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be really like driven by the spouses, and you guys are kind of mediators, to say.
Absolutely. Yeah. We really want to give them the space to get out of the social media platform and giving them the opportunity to actually interact in a manner that they are requesting or that they might need. We don't know what the spouses need until they let us know.
Exactly.
And then connecting on social media, if you get one person that's like a homebody and then another person, they're never going to get out, right? They're just going to be homebodies together.
Exactly.
Which is fine.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But if they want to explore, they're going to be more like, because if you're an introvert and you're just like, okay, I got to make this drive.
Yes.
And I'm going to, what if I run into this? You overthink it. Like,
yes.
Or if you're directionally impaired.
Me. Yeah.
But I like the fact that you said that, that you are an introvert, but this does give an opportunity for that introvert and the extrovert, because sometimes a person who is an extrovert may need an introvert to kind of bring them down a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that introvert may need that extrovert to pull them out a little bit.
Yeah.
So it gives you an opportunity to meet different people that, you know, even though we may not have the same type of personalities, but we have the same goal. We both want to do things together.
And they have, again, two things in common. The spouse is deployed and they're in the military.
Exactly. It's like, okay, there we go. And then, you know, maybe we have kids the same age or whatever. So you just never know. And
you just never know what could stem from opportunities like this.
Right. And especially being a military spouse, it is difficult because you move so often. And, you know, and you get so used to, okay, I have this friend, I get attached to them, and then you move somewhere else and it's like, I don't have anybody, and how am I going to maneuver to find somebody? So this gives them that opportunity to come out and just, you know, be in person and kind of see, you know, what other people have to offer, because, you know, you may meet someone who isn't on social media or not in that group that you're a part of, that you really click with.
I might meet somebody who's crafty, right? Like, oh, you have a Cricut. Oh, I don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah. Show me how to do that.
I'm into organizing. So you make the labels, we'll organize. Like,
her dream to make labels for your flower.
I need to meet somebody with a Cricut.
Relo has a Cricut.
Yeah, right?
Me too. I'm not crafty, so I wouldn't know.
I feel like introverts aren't. We're just like,
you do. You have a Cricut. I think you have too. But so that could be. I mean, that's even an ideal. You know, a crafting time that they could do with Hearts Apart. So that's that's pretty good.
Yeah, we are looking forward to hosting this first event and see where it leads us.
Right.
Even if it's just the spouse is just wanting the information.
Yeah.
Right.
That's perfect, because sometimes that's all we want. Sometimes we don't have time to do the rest of the stuff, but as long as we're plugged in with information, we feel that we are doing and serving them as well.
Right. Because, you know, with the information, so even if they're not ready to do it at that time, at least they know that it's available when they are ready.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
So, okay. So, Connie, is there anything else that you'd like to add to talk about with Relo and information and referral that we didn't talk about?
No, I think we covered it all. I just would like to encourage any new person that is new to Fort Bliss to come and visit the Army Community Services.
Yeah.
We are extremely friendly and eager
Come, people.
to assist in any needs possible. In regards to relocation, we could schedule one-on-one appointments with spouses. If they don't know what the moving process looks like, this might be their first move. This might be one of their last moves, or they might be moving overseas and they just have no clue where to start. Like, what does that look like? That's something we could help them with. We sit down with them. We kind of brainstorm on what their list looks like. For example, if they have pets, well, this is what you need to plan accordingly.
Right.
If you have kiddos in school, this is who you need to contact. So hopefully we connect them with all of the correct point of contact and give them a better picture of what they should expect with their first PCS move.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, because again, on the Facebook pages that I see, there's a lot of times that people are like, we're PCS and I don't have any idea, what am I supposed to do? What can I expect when I get to Fort Bliss? Or what can I expect when I get to this other location? And you see that question, at least I see that question a lot on there. It's like, what I don't even know where to begin. So even as far as, I have 2 cars, how do I get my other car there? You know, it's like,
I always see them like selling everything. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Because if you go to Hawaii or you go to like Washington, those places are double the amount than here. And it's like, I don't.
I know.
So, so that would be good advice. Like, hey, should I just sell all my stuff? And it's like, well,
and I do see that a lot where they're like, we're PCSing, so we're selling everything. I'm like, why? You're still going to need it.
I think they think it's going to be like easy to get those, but they don't consider maybe the price, right?
Right.
The difference in how much
or the regret. Once you get there, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have sold that. I really
I needed that.
I've done that before. Why did I sell it.
It would have been perfect right there. But yeah, so I think that's a real good point to bring up, that you guys are there to offer that counseling for them to figure, to be able to maneuver through that whole moving process, that PCS, whether you're PCSing or ETSing, because sometimes when you're ETSing and those questions come up, it's like, oh, we're going to be in the area for X amount of time before we leave. What do I do with my household goods? Well, you guys could let them know. It's like it can be stored for this amount of time.
And the most important thing too is that we will give them the correct point of contact.
Exactly.
For them to get the correct information.
Yeah. That's key.
That is
exactly, that correct information, because like on those pages, you don't really know if the person who's telling you what to do, if they really are telling you the right thing, just based on their experience.
Or also what I've seen is they don't know if that person organized and prepared prior to moving. So that's why they had so many challenges and difficult situations. So at least just giving the spouse or the service member possibly a starting point on how to do the checklist, what to look out for.
Right.
Things are always going to happen. Moving is always stressful. PCSing, it's going to be stressful.
Right.
Regardless if it's your first, your last, if you prepared, if you didn't prepare. But when there's hiccups that happen, knowing how to handle that hiccup is going to make the difference.
Right. I like that.
Hopefully they could get some good information speaking to one of us in regards to their PCS move.
Right. So, and like you said, it'll be the correct information. So you don't have to worry. It's like, well, Reload told me this. No, we told you the right stuff. So anything else?
No, just thank you so much.
Okay. Well, Connie, before, one of the things that we like to do here with all our guests that work for ACS anyway, is to ask what gives you joy. So what brings you joy working for ACS?
Meeting new families. Meeting new soldiers, especially, they bring me so much joy when I talk to them, and I give them information. And the biggest part of it is when they actually listen and they bring in their spouse to ACS. I'm like, win right there.
We can see the big smiles, like, yay!
So that is what brings me joy, is meeting the new soldiers and their families here at Fort Bliss.
Awesome. All right. So with that being said, we're going to conclude our podcast for today. So again, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on and giving us that information. So with that being said, this is Tracy
and Jasmine. Don't forget to click the bell and subscribe. Bye.